I'm thrilled to be joined by Catherine Rabidis, independent insurance and financial advisor. Catherine, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
So we have a lot to talk about. I'm thrilled to sort of dive in, but let's start at the top. Tell me a little bit about what you do in the world and how you help your clients.
I'm a holistic advisor. All of the foundation products, insurances in particular, but so that we can build. Because if you have a solid foundation, anything you put on top of that is going to stay solid. Any financial products you add are going to stay solid. So basically, I make sure that you're protected so that your financial house will stay sturdy.
And protection can not only be insurance coverage, but it can also be financial planning or financial risk analysis, I guess would be a way to put it.
Absolutely. We do a full risk analysis, like I said, it's holistic. So all the little pieces of your life, every chapter of your life has a different solution to it. Possibly it's all one, but in general, every little piece needs something a little bit different. So I bring all of those pieces together, put them into a solid format, and then everything above that is going to stay solid so that at the end of your life, those chapters that we've written are going to come up to a complete book the way you want them.
Tell me about when you work with a client, how much of your analysis and strategy is personal based versus business, and how do they overlap?
I ask a lot of questions, okay? Everything is, and I will ask questions that might not seem to make a lot of sense. For example, sometimes I ask, what are your personal goals? Do you want to run a marathon? Do you want to start a business? Do you want to retire early? What is it? Because if I know what those pieces are, I can bring them all together and make sure that we're working toward achieving all of those goals. Most people don't have the resources to hit every single goal all at once right away. It's a process. So that's what we're doing. We're building that process. And so each question and each aspect and each goal that you tell me are going to help me put them together for you, and with your help, together build that solution.
It's interesting. I mean, clearly what you do is very customized.
Absolutely.
You use the phrase holistic, and I take that to mean, encompassing, that it's sort of broad, but I would imagine that you have to dive in and find out these details, and it varies from client to client. Is that true?
That's true. A lot of times people will tell me, well, they're gearing toward buying a home, or they're gearing toward having children, or they do want to start a business, or they don't have a retirement plan. Most people spend more time planning their vacations than they do planning their retirement. Retirement is the longest vacation you will ever take.
So give me a sense of the services you can provide clients, how you can help them, maybe what you do, what you don't do. Give me a little scope of that.
Protection is basically insurance and guarantees. I deal in guarantees. So life insurance of all types, disability insurance of all types. I am especially an avid proponent of extended care planning. Many people are going to need help as they age and are going to need care in some situation or another. If you want control over that, the planning is key. So making sure that there is something in place to bring in those dollars when you have a need, whether it's due to an illness or a disability or just aging.
Right.
You can decide, do you want your care at home? Do you need an assisted living, adult daycare, a nursing home? What is going to make the most sense for you? So I do a lot of that, as well as guarantees in aging. So how do we make sure that there is always money in retirement to supplement what your Social Security may be? Right. A lot of retirement planning, as we said earlier, it is your longest vacation.
So if somebody's interested in doing business with you, what are the first steps? Is it a meeting? Is it a review of existing situations? How do you get started with a client?
Usually the first step would be a phone call or a meeting In this day and age now, it's Zoom or some other video conferencing tool.
And do you find that that's been working for you? Is that a productive way to communicate?
I feel that face-to-face is always the best way to do it. And if that means we have to go to, a video format for that or some type of computerized format, that's okay. You need to see me, I need to see you. We want to build that relationship. Why should you trust me without even knowing me? Let's get those questions out there and let's see if we're a good fit for each other too. Because if we're not, nothing is going to be successful and there's no point in going forward. I want people to be comfortable. We would discuss what your concerns are. What are those main concerns? And let's talk about them. Let's dive in there. And then I'll do an analysis and I'll put together some suggestions. I may bring in a legal or tax team depending on what level we're looking at. Then we can go forward.
Well, speaking about relationships, I wanted to ask you about ABA. Tell me what that group and generally business networking means for you in your business.
For me, it's all about the relationship, and it always has been. ABA has some great people, and I can bring those resources to my people. So my clients now have the benefit of those resources. And everyone has been very generous with their advice and their time and has been more than willing and happy to help out and give some advice to those clients who need some extra help but don't really know where to get it from. So with ABA, I've had that in my back pocket, if you will, and can just pull that out at any time and say, hey, Mr. Client, I've got this for you. This person is going to be a good resource for you. He can answer your questions or she can answer your questions, regardless of what they are.
Catherine, thanks so much for spending time with me today.
Thanks very much, Brian. It's been really great being here.